So I landed in Los Angeles in 2001, and I started working in a community college within a matter of months. And then within probably that year, I picked up a human relations class and a research methods class. And then I started picking up classes. At one point I had 6 classes at 3 different schools. You know, in the 17 years that I've been teaching, there's only been 3 incidences where a full-time position came up in my department, of which I was qualified for, of which I interviewed for. It's very hard sometimes to get a second. I thought I was guaranteed to get the second interview with the president on some of those occasions, but I didn't. And so here I am, 17 years in, great instability because the fluctuations of enrollment could ultimately change whether you have a class or not. Paying for your own, benefits and not having things like sick time and those kind of things, eventually started to feel not like there's any stability out there anyways, but being 48 years old and still piecing it together with like 3 or 4 part-time jobs, to me is just like, what are you doing? To be honest with you, the teaching always in my mind was going to be a supplemental income where I teach 1 or 2 classes in the evening after I have this wonderful, fulfilling full-time job that I was divinely led to. My very first tattoo was when I was in graduate school. I had never gotten one. I was always curious about them. And of course, my number one concern was, am I going to be able to take the pain? When I started really looking at tattoos, and I just liked, the Pacific Islander motif and what it represented, and that I was like, that kind of fits for me. And that's when I kind of got a piece on my arm. And I really started up on the top of my arms, and then I moved down. I figured out I wore a basic short sleeve shirts just to see where I could go to still cover it. And then I started to really think about that I was making decisions on how to express myself and use my body as a canvas based upon what I think other people thought about me. And I was like, this is the same conformity that is such an oppressive force and has drawn me to study sociology. The same powers of conformity are influencing me, and I was like, this is ridiculous. I've got to be the brave one, and I've got to go against conformity in this way, even if it's a permanent situation. And that's when I moved below the elbow and then just kind of moved down my arms over time. And I was wondering, there's been numbing cream that has become available to people. It was not available to me during the time I was getting tattoos, although I probably would use it. So do you think that pain, having the pain, experiencing the pain, contributes to the stigmatization of tattoos because people see this person as someone that has allowed their skin to be traumatized and someone to do this to them?
They transform that pain through physical pain of the tattoo. So I think it's really useful in that way. I'm not really interested in hurting people that much, and I don't want them to suffer. But some people, they want to feel like they are in the tattoo, and I have to convince them that they've had enough for the day and we should quit, because they're suffering so much.
So in the first day of class, I keep my tattoos covered completely. And it's not until the second, so I really established my legitimacy, as a facilitator of knowledge, as someone who's been doing this for a while, and I'm very attuned to that. I have a passion for the subject matter. I want that to be at the forefront, not what my appearance is, right? And so I obviously know I don't meet the stereotypical appearance of the professor. People still have that in their mind, with the jacket, with the elbow patches, and the ascot, and the pipe, and glasses. So I already don't have that going on. And I was like, if I add another layer of, confusion to that, it may render me less effective in being able to deliver the information. So I wanted to take the time to, the first day, really establish what I'm bringing, and then the next time, then I do roll my sleeves up, and then the tattoos are revealed. And so for many people, it shakes them up. into thinking, oh, wait a second, everything that I know about tattoos, and then you're the professor, and it's almost like I tricked them, you know, into examining their own belief systems, and that way I can work with that throughout the semester and being able to apply that. One, you know how you have your I have my kind of like midlife dream tattoo would be that I ride a motorcycle, because I got a motorcycle license, to Tucson, Arizona, and get tattooed by Anthony Michaels a portrait of Michelle Akello with her bass guitar on this side of my shoulder. That's my dream fantasy scenario for the next tattoo. In a more realistic way, there is a part, believe it or not, I consider myself somewhat conservatively tattooed after seeing other people. So by not getting this part done, I feel like there's still kind of this essence of I can cover up still, you know, with like that way. And so I may just get this part done that was kind of like my, don't go all the way to the wrist, and you're still somewhat acceptable. I hate to say that, you know, is where my head was at and why I didn't go all the way to my wrists. Would I do my hands and neck? Probably not. In another lifetime I would, but I feel like I'm, you know, I'm not willing to do that at this point in time. If I already had it and I was here, that'd be fine, but I don't, you know, I feel okay with what I have and what I'm working with.